Hey there, it's Kim and it's Tuesday, day 2 of my 14 days between jobs vlog. I need a sexier title than that, obviously. But it's Tuesday morning, actually it's Tuesday afternoon, it's noon. I just spent the morning filming 4 videos. I have one more video for my YouTube channel to film. And then this afternoon, I will be heading out for a photo shoot for the Read It and Eat for Butter or Worse box. I'll put the picture there, I'll link it down below. And I will also be shooting with my photographer the winter box, which is going to be hot sauce themed. So if you guys didn't know, Read It and Eat has 4 curated boxes a year. So the spring box was fruits and seeds. The summer box that's currently shipping through August is coffee themed. You'll get 3 different sample coffees to try from a local coffee brewer here in Buffalo. The fall box is cheese themed, which is my favorite box I've created to date, and winter will be hot sauces. So part of running the small business is making sure that I have beautiful imagery to use for ads, for videos, and all of those kinds of placements. I work with a photographer here locally. Her business is called Art Is Why. I try as much as I can to make sure every part of my business I'm working with a small business or a local partner if I can. I try not to, ship this stuff out too far. So I'm actually really excited that I get to be on set today. I don't think I'm in any of the pictures, but we'll also be doing some lifestyle pictures as well. So it's not just going to be the picture of the box, but people with the box and interacting with the books and the snacks, and I'm really excited. Also, because of COVID, the last couple shoots, it's been very much like you drop off the box and you don't stay. So I'm excited to spend the afternoon there, and by the time that shoot's done, that's essentially a whole work day. I am trying really hard to maintain regular hours so that when I start my new job in 2 weeks, I'm not like, oh gosh, I'm so used to going to bed at 3 in the morning. I'm also not that young anymore, so like I don't really want to stay up till 3 in the morning. But anyway, I digress. So spent the morning making videos. I uploaded my most recent Unwrap My TBR vlog, which I'll link in the cards above. And my hope is I've got one more video to film, it's noon, and then I want to export or get all of the footage off my camera and onto my computer, and then I'll go do the photo shoot, and then when I come home, it'll probably be, if I time it correctly, 5 or 6, so then it's just time for dinner, and then I can relax at night. So it's a pretty full day, very content heavy, lots of filming. I just finished chapter 2 of getting something to eat in Jackson, and now we're into part 1. Where we're going to spend a lot of the time with the author interviewing Black homeless people within Jackson. Right now, I think the first 2 chapters were really laying the groundwork of the research behind this book. And I think that's important. This is a scholarly book more than it's going to be a memoir. And it's understanding food and race dynamics within Jackson. And the author brings up a really good point that a lot of people think just because the civil rights movements came out of a lot of really important historical events came out of Jackson, that people mentally often associate that we are stuck in time, that great things happened in Jackson, the civil rights movement, not great, but like really historical moments, real progress. And people fail to recognize that there are still wealth disparities in current day Jackson, that there are actually upper middle class Blacks, but there are also people living below the poverty line, people who are working and just above the poverty line, and there's the homeless population. So we're going to now spend this first part 1 with this homeless community. So I'm about an hour and a half into the book. I've got another 7 hours left. Let me show you the actual book. Let me just read some of the praise for you on the back as well. This evocative and insightful book reveals how everyday decisions about what and how we eat unite and divide us along the lines of race, class, and culture. Edwoodsy documents the foodways of Black Mississippians across the economic spectrum, from homeless men and middle-class strivers to single mothers and mayoral candidates. What emerges is a memorable and lucid account of life and struggles, food and family in the modern American South. And another notes that this is so good and important. Woodsy calls us to rethink the relationship between Black Southerners and the food traditions that they have developed and remade. Getting something to eat in Jackson gives us a rich glimpse of contemporary Black life, told from a place, Mississippi, that is vital to the story of who we are, where we have come from, and where we might go. So really excited to continue to read or listen to this book. It's a very thorough book. It's not that long if you look at the pages. It's just under 250, but there are lots of notes and references and indexes in the back. So I really am excited that it's, again, a very well researched book. And this comes from the Princeton imprint, Princeton Press, excuse me. I think this was part of maybe his PhD work. I'm not really sure. But as a reminder, this was one of the 3 books that was nominated for the 2022 James Beard Award in Food Writing. It came out in 2021 from Princeton University Press, but like I mentioned before, and I can maybe make a whole other video about this, for 2 years there have been no James Beard Awards, and that was after a lot of restructuring needed to be done after there was a lot of pushback about how there was a lack of diversity in nominations and winners from James Beard Awards, not only in the media awards, but also for chefs and restaurants. So this is the first year that they are back after 2 years of a lot of internal reorganization. So again, by the time this vlog comes up, the awards will already have concluded because they are in June. So I'm going to continue to read this book, but I will have a whole separate video where I discuss the 3 different nominations and why they're important. So I'm kind of double dipping a little bit in this vlog. This vlog is kind of to show you a week in a life of what I do in my time off, how I run a business when I actually have the time. But I also am trying to get this book read for the other video project. So gotta go film one more video, then I gotta go to a photo shoot and gotta remember to eat and drink something other than coffee. So make sure you stay hydrated. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hey everyone, it's Kim. It's Wednesday morning, day 3 of this vlog. I'm only in chapter 4 of getting something to eat in Jackson. So I didn't film a lot yesterday, mostly because I was on set for a photo shoot. So I was working with my friend Sarah of Art Is Why to film and photograph some of the new boxes for Read It and Eat. So we were working on the For Butter or Worse box, and we were working on the winter hot sauce box. So when I'm on set, I want to be present. I want to be present. It's my product and I want to make sure everything looks great. I've worked with Sarah the entire time I've had Read It and Eat in business. So she's always a delight to work with. And it was really fun to be on set. I took a lot of behind the scenes pictures that I'll cut in here. So that was a good portion of yesterday. So yesterday was Tuesday. I went to the gym. I worked out. I did something else before I had to go to that shoot. And I don't even remember what it was. By the time I got home, it was like 6 o'clock. So essentially I've been working full days, but full days of my small business versus if I had a regular 9 to 5. So today's Wednesday, I went to the gym, I worked out, I took my car to the dealership because somebody broke my side mirror on my passenger side, and its inspection was up for next month in July. So unfortunately it was like $300 to get my car checked up an inspection, and then just cost me another $300 to order the part, and then I have to pay labor to get it installed, which sucks. And then the only other thing on my agenda today is I have a PR masterclass, and that's at 3 o'clock. So I have spent the morning really breaking down boxes in my office and getting organized. I have a holiday market or a summer flea market this weekend. So part of it, if trash pickups today, I want to break down all the cardboard I can, but it also gives me a chance to pre-pack all of the orders or what I hope to sell at the flea market. On top of, I already have all of the materials for the winter hot sauce box, because if you guys remember, I crowdfunded at the beginning of this year, and thank you guys so much. Thanks to you guys, I was able to hit my crowdfunding goal of $13,500. That allowed me to buy all the inventory I need for the rest of the year. And because the winter box is hot sauces, it's not something that needs to be refrigerated. So I'm assembling all the boxes now, and we'll keep them in storage. So, I mean, there's a couple little pieces missing, like I haven't printed the brochures yet for the hot sauce boxes, but instead of having all of the ingredients in different boxes from all the small businesses that they ship to my house, having them in their little tiny boxes, I mean, look at all the, like there's a lot of chaos, right? But if I can get things packed up into their little read it in any blue boxes, it'll look better than some of this. So, but yeah, I am, sorry, that's my forehead. So I am about 4 chapters into Getting Something to Eat in Jackson, and right now the author is moving from homeless shelter to homeless shelter. And now that the intro's done, and now we're getting started, and I'm interested because it's interesting to watch racism, racism in the minds of homeless people who feel that maybe other minorities or other ethnic groups are depriving them of jobs, or how. I think one of the stories, we're following one specific gentleman, and he has a couple of he's been shot and he has some wounds and deformities, but he's not willing to go to a lawyer, or he's hesitant to go to a doctor, because if going to the doctor interrupts with his schedule when he knows which shelter is giving out food at a specific time, he won't go, because otherwise he could go 12 to 16 hours without eating. And that's where these systematic flaws, I mean, we're only on chapter 4, we're only 2 chapters into part 1. I'm already seeing these really big fundamental flaws, is that people would rather not go to the doctor. That meant messing up the rotation of when each of these locations is their schedule for food handouts. Also really interesting is that despite being homeless, these people still have food preferences and still avoid things like sugar or super processed food. Or, for example, because this is in Jackson, Mississippi, there's the idea of Southern food like fried chicken, collard greens. A lot of those luncheon-like items are still being served at breakfast. And some people their stomachs can't handle it. But what do you do when this is all you can eat? It's a really interesting conversation, and I wish I had more specific details. I'll have to write some more down because I'm listening to the book as I'm working, but I'm really into it. The upfront, the intro and chapter 1, we probably could have skipped if I was physically reading the book because it's super dense on the research side. But now that we're in the field and we're with the author and he's tailing and shadowing actual homeless men in Jackson, this is the story. This is the truth, and I'm already hooked, and I really can already tell why this got nominated, and we're only in part 1 of the book. But I've got maybe an hour before my PR masterclass, and I'm gonna probably take a break. Also, the sky got really dark, so it is definitely about to pour, which thank God, it's very humid out. But I will be back in a little bit. I'll talk to you later. So I've been unboxing a lot of material this morning for the office. So this is all the cheese box. This is some of the For Butter or Worse box. This is the rest of the For Butter or Worse box down here. And then, because cardboard pickup is tomorrow, I wanted to break down all these boxes in my office. And now this is essentially what a packing station looks like when you're a small business owner of one. So I'm actually packing up some of the hot sauce boxes, and the hot sauce boxes actually are for the winter, but because the food item in them is hot sauces, I used the crowdfunding money that you guys helped me reach my goal of earlier this year and ordered that ahead of time. So now I can pack all those boxes and put them in a cool space, because the shelf life on those hot sauces is over a year. But all of those books are meant to be for Blind Date with a Book, which are meant to go on this bookshelf, which you can see is too full. And next week my friend is coming and we're going to install just giant floating shelves, and then my goal is to repurpose this ladder shelf and this shelf and put them in here so I have overflow for all of these books. Because the issue with a Blind Date with a Book is that if you're a repeat buyer, I want to make sure I have different options for you, but there's only so much space on a bookshelf. And there's some of my camera equipment back there. These are some of the different snack vendors I work with for the boxes. But yeah, it's been a little bit of a chaotic morning. As you can see, I actually got a YouTube video or a video up and edited, and it's uploading as we speak while I'm still listening to Getting Something to Eat in Jackson. I am almost done with chapter 4. Hi, this is my new camera angle, I guess. So it has been quite a few days since I've spoken to you, and this framing is probably not all that flattering, but it's okay. So what started out as a weekly reading vlog has now evolved into a 2-week reading vlog. I finished Getting Something to Eat in Jackson on Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday I was a vendor at a local flea market selling my Read It and Eat boxes. And then Monday morning, my mom flew in to spend time with me. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It is now Thursday. I dropped her off at the airport this morning because I start my new job on Tuesday. So it's been a little crazy. It's been a little busy, but I did finish Getting Something to Eat in Jackson. And oh, and also I put up a new bookshelf. My friend did, really. He did all the work. He put up these 4 beautiful shelves. There's now about 200 books behind me that I need to read. I will film that video at another time, I guess. Let me know in the comments below if you want a bookshelf tour. So I finished Getting Something to Eat in Jackson, and it was a really powerful book. Woodsy did a really thorough job, and I can tell he's a sociologist more than he is a foodie. And that's okay, because it was so thorough. The idea that I could follow, as a reader, I got to follow food and race relations from the perspective of, by following homeless people, by following a single mother who was on food stamps, often dealing with job insecurity, someone who was middle class and thriving, and a mayoral candidate, which was really interesting. It was a really good book. It came in, I think, under 10 hours on the audiobook. I listened to it at 1.2 speed, sped up. So take that with a grain of salt. But I can't ever get above 1.2. Like, I don't know how some people listen to things on like 2 speed, 3 speed, 4 speed. If you can, good for you. I can't do it with this kind of reading. But Getting Something to Eat in Jackson was very powerful. And I think food writing can be very powerful. And I think this is the kind of book, I wish more people read this. This is the kind of stuff I wish I read about in high school, because it is sociology and it is important. But it's just not what traditional schoolwork looks like. But this is so researched, it's so well thought out, and it really hurts my soul in a way. Like, I own a small business called Read It and Eat, and a portion of every purchase is used to fight hunger here where I live in Buffalo, New York, where there is still some racial inequality, where there are still food deserts and there is food apartheid. And you know, maybe it doesn't seem like a lot for every box. For every blind date, it's $3, and every Read It and Eat box, it's $5. But that matters to me, and what $5 can do to feed people. And it's also so frustrating to see why families might take that $5 and buy fast food, because it's quantifiable. Like, you can get a whole meal at McDonald's or Burger King for $5 when really they want to be serving their kids better. At the same time, there's a world where the South has this misconception that everyone grows up on chicken and grits and greens, and that they have this rich food tradition. But if you grow up food insecure, you don't grow up with those food traditions. Your food tradition might very well be getting meals that are fast food and at McDonald's, and you're just doing what you know, and there isn't this luxury of Sunday home-cooked meals. It just doesn't exist that way anymore. And I thought it was really important to talk about that, because I've read books about the South, like the Pot Liquor Papers by John T. Edge, and the book even references that there's this misconception that Blacks in the South are going to reclaim this food heritage, and there's this movement right now about Southern cuisine having a seat at the table, being considered a real culinary style, no longer considered lowbrow. But it's missing the whole point, that there's still such food insecurity that the very people that created that food aren't really eating it because they can't afford it. So all in all, it was a really good book. I'm really glad I read it. I think I listened to it as an audiobook, and I almost wonder that if I had read it, it might have moved faster at some points. I do think that in the upfront of each part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, there's a lot of preface and about the research, how it's conducted. And I think that's the sociologist in him coming out. And if I had the book, I probably would have just like skipped over those chapters because I don't worry too much about the research. I figure if you're a James Beard Award nominated book with research, I'm gonna trust your work. But I was afraid to hit skip on the chapters on an audiobook because you just don't, they just say chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, I don't know what they are. I hope that makes sense. The idea of skip, they weren't named, the chapter. There we go. The chapters weren't named. That's what I was trying to say. All in all, it was a really good book. If you have made it to the end of this video, please drop me a carrot emoji in the comments below and let me know, would you ever read something like Getting Something to Eat in Jackson? What do you guys think about things like food inequality and food and classism and racism? I mean, am I the only person out here reading this kind of stuff? I guess I'm not if it's a James Beard Award nominated book. It's just, I don't see a lot of people talking about this. Is there some other like nonfiction part of Booktube that I don't know about, like Anthropology Booktube? That'd be kind of cool. Anyway, thank you so much for sticking with me through this now 2-week-long reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was interesting. On your way down, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe, drop that carrot emoji, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.